Hello and welcome to the Cosmetics Business Podcast. I'm Sarah Parsons.
And I'm Julie Wray. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty decent.
How's your week?
Well, it's me rounding up a lot of things because I'm about to head off on annual leave.
Yes, you're off to Australia.
I am. I'm very excited. I've heard that there's a lot of really great brands out there, so I'm going to do a shopping day. I have a shopping day set aside. Mm-hmm. I've got days set aside for things like skydiving and going to the beach, even though it's about 16 degrees Celsius. So yeah, but I do have a specific day which I've got pinpointed. I'm going to be going and checking out all the brands and coming back with my favourites as well.
Yeah, make sure you go to Mecca Cosmetics. I really wanted to go.
Yes, I'm so excited. Yes. That's on my list.
So shall we get started?
Absolutely. This week, we are talking about trends, specifically about autumn-winter beauty trends.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we are currently in the midst of different fashion weeks going on.
We are various different ones, and there's a lot of really great stuff coming out of the catwalks at the moment.
There is. So I have been noticing that the late Queen Elizabeth, she has been making a comeback. Sorry.
HRH.
That was a bit of bad phrasing, wasn't it, really? She made a comeback.
It does sound a little bit like she's being raised from the dead. Ladies and gentlemen, do not worry. That is definitely not happening. Charles can breathe a sign of relief. He's still king.
Yeah, this is true.
But yes, the look really more than anything
else. The
else.
look, specifically the late Queen Elizabeth II's Balmoral look.
So are we talking like headscarves, brooches?
Yeah. We're thinking tweed, we're thinking kilts, we're thinking silk scarves, we're thinking fresh faces. And so like Prada and Miu Miu, I don't know why the Italian houses seem to love her.
Well, I think, you know how we as Brits see Italians as being so almost exotic and summery. Maybe they look at us and think, oh, they are so autumnal.
It's true, so
possibly
cozy.
That's the thing, I don't know.
That is true. So yeah, that's coming back. Well, yeah, so that's really big. And I guess it's perfect for this time of year. And it seems to follow on what was happening in summer, like silk scarves were big this summer.
Absolutely.
And so, yes, it's fashion, but that will inevitably have a play on beauty.
Absolutely. And you have brands, for example, Grace de Monaco, which I think really ties in nicely with that trend. Yeah. Obviously, it's got things like scarves, it's bringing out eyewear, I think, and it's got the perfumes as well. Yeah. So very much almost that royal heritage and digging down into that.
Exactly. And, you know, you've got to think like fresh face, like flushed cheeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously a lot of that's fashion, but when it comes to beauty, that kind of manifests itself as, it feels a little bit like that boyfriend blush trend that we've been talking
Prince
about.
William-esque.
Yes, that kind of slightly florid, but in a healthy way, as opposed to an I've had too much port way. You know? So yeah, I do think I like that trend. It does make me feel very of the season.
It does. It makes me feel like I want to go ride a horse and drink some whiskey afterwards or something.
Yes. I mean, I'd be happy to do that in any season, but particularly this time of year, 100%.
So what's the trend you've got your eye on?
So I hate to bring up Sabrina Carpenter all the time, but she's everywhere and she's huge. Obviously, we've spoken about blush blindness and Sabrina's love of blush. And she's been announced as the hair of Redken very recently. So she's all over the beauty landscape, especially when it comes to the colour of the season, which is going to be espresso. So not just a song title, not just a no one, but also a great colour for nails, lips, eyes, especially with the trend towards that monochrome, single colour eye trend that we are seeing a little bit more now after that, multi-hued palettes kind of vibe from a couple of years ago. It's a nice change, I think. I do like autumn berry looks.
Yes, yeah.
I'm a fan of that. I like this terracotta looks. But I think it's a nice change from that to have these kind of deep browns moving towards, slightly more mellow kind of coffee creme tones as well.
Plays into the 90s trend as well.
Absolutely, which is huge. We're seeing that kind of almost honey lipstick, lip liner, which is really huge now as well. So it is, and it's a bit of a change from, I love berry looks, but it's a bit of a change from that for the autumn as well. You're also seeing interesting takes on this. So, for example, one of the things I've noticed, which I really like, and I'm going to have to try out myself, is tortoiseshell tips on nails. Ooh. It's such a good look. And I have a feeling, for me, tortoiseshell is going to be the leopard print of this autumn season. Yeah. There's always some print, isn't there, whether snake print or crocodile print.
Well,
tortoiseshell.
When was Mobwife?
Mobwife. About a year ago it started, but it's been big. All throughout.
So that was like leopard print. So yeah, tortoiseshell will be the new one.
Yeah, tortoise. Yeah, you heard it here. And I feel like, could you imagine you're wearing tortoiseshell glasses right now? Could you imagine having nails that match your glasses? That would be incredibly cool. I feel like that look would belong to somebody who's a little bit more polished than me, but it's a great look. So that's one of them that's jumped out. Also on colour, we are having well, obviously, we know that green is massive. We know that brat green has been massive.
Yeah, Charlie XX.
Absolutely. We're not going to see green go away. We're just going to see it maybe mature into a more winter version, especially as Wicked, the first movie. There's 2 movies. I don't realise that until recently.
There's 2 films coming out.
There's 2 films coming out, one this year, one next year.
I didn't know.
I know that it's like they're doing a June on us. But yes, so spreading out the love over 2 years rather than just the one for this trend. But we're seeing on the catwalk, so not right now, but obviously the previous seasons, we saw a lot of khakis, a lot of olives. I've got my eye on a couple of like olive leather coats and things like that. So yeah, that is going to be that more sophisticated metamorphosis of the brat green that we're seeing.
So brats grow up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the dolls.
Exactly like the dolls.
Just like the dolls.
Exactly.
How about you? What other things are you banking on for the next couple of weeks?
Well, I'm championing the goth. I feel like with Halloween, you've got to have a bit of goth.
I agree. It's that time of year. Everyone feels a bit witchy.
Everyone does. And I'm not saying like full on 90s, 1980s, like paint your face white kind of goth.
If you like it, you can do that.
No, I'm like, it's very much more like, because if you look at Beetlejuice and the premieres of that, and then over the past couple of years, obviously with Wednesday Addams and
that almost like Tim Burton-esque hints towards goth.
Yeah, like
right?
Glam goth. Like
yes,
you're not too sunken.
Yes, it's not so much sallow as a little bits of reds, little bits of purples brought into those kind of those tones brought into eye makeup, for example, and lip makeup.
Absolutely, and it's pretty easy to do, and like you can mix it up, and you don't always have to go for the blacks and greys. It can be reds and browns,
and pinks.
Pinks. Yeah.
There's a lot that feeds into that trend. No, I completely agree with you that obviously Wednesday was huge. Jenna Ortega's also in Beetlejuice. Everyone's favourite sort of goth girl from the 90s. Winona Ryder is back, and also let's not forget the Moira Rose, the black and white queen from Schitt's Creek, is also back as well. So yes, we are seeing a lot of, I think, gothism coming through from Beetlejuice.
I think so. And then also you've got Tish Weinstock. So she is a contributing beauty editor at Vogue, and she's got a very big social media profile, and she's written a book about how to be a goth.
Fantastic. Was she an original goth?
Yeah, she's very glam. She looks like she could be a bride of Dracula.
Oh, I love that. Kind of the vampires. I was very upset when they stopped. So I have to look online to see if I can find those dresses to go with my goth look for the next couple of weeks. But yeah. To round things off for my list. Yeah. I've got one here. I thought I was going to look at other inspirations from outside of the beauty industry and the fashion industry, because it's very easy to get stuck on, those kind of influences. But I saw something the other day that was saying that September is going to be the September of sex.
Ooh.
So, and one of the reasons for that, Gillian Anderson, the actress, obviously Scully, very well known, has brought out a book that she has edited of stories called Want Sexual Fantasies. And that is being promoted hugely. There's a lot about it on social media. It's raised a lot of discussion. Equally, on the catwalk, a couple of months back, we saw a lot, and we've been seeing this a lot as well, kind of underwear as outerwear. That will continue, and there's a big emphasis on, sexy and sheer and glamorous. And could this potentially be an opportunity? We talk about fashion trends, we talk about beauty trends, and we often go down colour and visual stuff.
So easy to do.
But could this be a good opportunity for intimate care and sexual wellness brands to kind of hop on the back of this sexy September?
For the cozy nights that are drawing in.
It's cuffing season. Yeah. Gillian Anderson, Scully herself, recommends this. So, yeah.
Cool. The other big trends that potentially coming is Pinterest have released their report.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So what they are tipping on, I know we're saying perhaps not there's going to be so much berry tones, but with autumn,
there's always going to be berry tones. It's inescapable.
It is. And so they're predicting that cherry in particular is going to be big across hair care, particularly with honey brown is another one as well. They're predicting it's going to be big.
And cherry red hair care. Okay, Amanda and myself, the red hairs, are going to have to pay attention to that.
Yeah, you are already leading the pack.
Fashionable, and you didn't even know it. There you go.
And then gloss, they think isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon. Other things is they're looking out for is in terms of nails. Well, nails has obviously had a huge increase in terms of a category.
Massive, yeah.
Yep. So They are thinking things like bow nail designs, very cute, very Christmassy.
I love that. And I feel like bows were all over the catwalk recently, right?
Absolutely. And then Japanese-inspired nails, and then...
Can I ask, what is a Japanese-inspired nail? What does that look like?
Very girly.
yes,
Very
that makes
girly, very
sense.
over the top, very
Kind of
kawaii.
waifu anime kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So that one. And then the one I really like that is going everywhere is the Greek goddess nail.
Oh, now what does that look like when it's at home as well?
So think like gemstones, some gold, some bronze, also a touch of blue and marble, so a nod to the architecture in the Aegean Sea. So it's almost
Very
like
ornate.
pretending...
What's the architecture of the nails?
It
right?
is, but also it kind of feels like it's the summer we never had. It's just extending into the
Yes,
winter.
if you're listening to this and you're not in the UK, we had a summer where you could squelch to the beach if you were so inclined. So it's not been very nice, and I can see why maybe that would be a nice way to end the summer and to kind of that wishful thinking. Also, I don't know whether... There's also the Netflix effect, isn't there? We talked about Beetlejuice with regards to the goth. Chaos is on Netflix. Yes. That is bringing back that, and we talk about Mob Wife. That look is, that's not a subtle look.
No.
If you've seen that show, it's very bling. It's very blue sea, white gold. Yeah. Ultra luxe.
There's no quiet luxury about it.
No, it's luxury that screams, I am Zeus, hear me roar. So yeah, I think that ties nicely into that as well. A little bit of a cultural zeitgeist there for the Greek nails.
I think so. So should we do another Q&A episode next week?
Yes, I think so. It was fun last time.
Okay, so we're recording a Q&A episode this week, which will be available to listeners 7 days just after this.
Sounds like a plan. Keep your questions coming in, guys. Send us a message on the normal podcast platforms, social media, or email cosmetics@hpcimedia.com.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.